Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roll Down podcast, a TFT podcast with a heavy focus on the Oceanic region. My name is Cutler, and I am very pleased to be joined by three great people. But first of all, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Sol. Sol, how you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming by. Yeah.
Guys, we've got a big show today. We got two absolute titans of the oceanic industry. I'm going to go first to a man who has represented our entire region at a championship event, and that is Razza. Razza, how are you?
Good, good, doing well. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Really, really looking forward to it. I will come back to you, but first I want to go to our second guest, and that is a man who has seen more ladders than the average firefighter. I've
Ladder
been trying to
Warrior.
work on something for that all day, but he's been rank one. Basically, as long as rank one has existed. Angora, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, I want to go to you both first. I'll start with Razza. I want to sort of get a little bit of an insight on you and how you came about playing TFT, where you started, and what really sort of drew you to playing the game and where you're at with it now.
So I think when I started, it was like there was like a Dota auto chess mod that was like all the rage, like all my friends were playing it. But I couldn't get into it because like Dota, right? I didn't really play Dota. But then like when Riot kind of announced that they were gonna do one because I played League, I like gave it a go when it went on PvE and I just like liked it, right? It was like fun, so I just kept playing it. Yeah, and then I think played. I kind of like skipped set two because wasn't that interesting. That's I think I started like really getting good at the game in like set three, compared to like everyone else. Like I see Angora shaking his head like that you couldn't set three.
I didn't say nothing, bro.
But yeah, and I think I started streaming in like set three as well. And now here we are.
Fantastic. And I mean, what a journey. We're going to get to a little bit about sort of the World Championships and tournament play a little bit later on. But Angora, I want to hear from you. We had a chat before we kicked off about sort of playing the game for a long time and for a lot of previous sets. What's your sort of history with TFT and where are you at with it right now?
Well, I'm not really someone that plays too many games. I pretty much only played League, and then my friends were like playing TFT just like normals when it first came out, and like on like PvE when it first came out, and they're like they found it fun or whatever. But I didn't really want to play. I didn't find it too interesting. And then like I just like pretty much got forced into a game, and been addicted ever since. So yeah, pretty much just I played every set, too much every set. Um, yeah, pretty much just play too much TFT, and that's pretty much all I do at this point. Like, I don't play any other games now, only ARAMs and TFT. So, yeah.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Uh,
I want to talk a little bit about set six before we get on to our big topic. Needless to say, there's at least three people in here. I won't include myself because I'm still not like playing a lot of TFT right now. Who have been climbing quite hard. So I'm going to start with my co-host Sol and ask you a little bit about how set six has been going for you, what you've been playing. I noticed there was
mm-hmm.
for those of you who weren't in Sol's stream today. I think he went 8-8-7-8, followed by about 1-1-2-1-3 or something like that. So he's had a bit of an up and down day, that's for sure.
I mean, that was just an extension of yesterday. I think yesterday I went eighth like 6 times out of a game, a sample size of like 20. So,
Sounds with me as well.
that's been weird, I guess. I went from being really, really confident when I like hit masters to feeling even more confident when I climbed like 200 LP off stream, and then I streamed yesterday, and then I ran down 200 LP, and then I ran it back up to 150 today, like towards the later half of the stream, so it was like pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think the set's really fun for sure. I mean, we all of us were talking about this like before the pod started. It's definitely the most fun like launch that we've like had for a TFT set. For sure. I think that like there are definitely going to be some sort of balancing kinks that are going to be needed to they're gonna need to sort of work on and work out. Right now, like there's a lot of games that sort of feel a little bit out of your control, like very very volatile with how the augment system works, particularly at the higher rarities. So like this sort of trend I'm noticing is that like the games where the lobby is sort of fairly low powered, like you get like a lot of fairly low rarity augments, generally feel in your control. But the lobbies that have a lot of like prismatic and whatever the tier 2 aug is called, the tier 2 augments, like the lobbies that have a lot of like the rare ones, can feel really really tough and really really like RNG heavy. Because yeah, some augments are just a lot better than others. But yeah.
Yeah,
Other than that though, that's been fun.
yeah, very true. I want to go to Razza and ask you, because I know that from reading through some of your guides on Reddit, you're basically playing a new comp every single week. You're going really hard at one comp or learning one comp at a time. What's set 6? What's the climb been like for you?
Pretty slow, I think. But it's always like this for me. At the beginning of sets, because I'm not really someone that like innovates. Like I'm not like an innovator, so I'm not like the guy who usually discovers like OP stuff. I'm kind of like a big like rote learner. Like other people will like they'll figure out what's strong, and then I'll practice it to like optimize it and iron it out. I think so because things haven't really been figured out that much. I think for set 6 yet. Climb's been quite slow for me, so but I'm still I'm just like still sticking through it, and that's just the way I learn. I just like grind one comp over and over until I figure out like the ins and outs for it.
Yeah, how are you feeling about sort of the comps that you've worked on at the moment? Are you basically playing Samira all last week? What are you working on this week?
I think so this is from you guys know ARFs, yeah?
Yeah.
This is something that ARFs has mentioned. So like 4 Scholar, 2 Socialite, Lissandra carry, I think has some merit. So I'm probably gonna like give that a go a lot of this week. But I probably need to start climbing soon because I'm gonna miss this week's snapshot, so I have to be climbing for next week's one.
Okay. Yeah, understandable. Angora, talk to me a little bit about your climb. I feel like you got to Masters at about 15 games or something like that. I don't know, whatever it must have been. How's your climb been going? Like after you got to Masters, did you plateau a little bit? Did you keep going? Like what's been going on with your climb?
Yeah, I zoomed at the beginning of the set, and then something bad happened. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
The game happened.
yeah, I think just now like
Conflict.
the
Conflict.
variants of the especially like the prismatic, like the
Mm.
opening prismatic games, like some of just feel so unplayable, and
Yup.
I mean I get incredibly tilted. So yeah, I go on bad streaks when I'm tilted at the game. Like I had a look at my like set 5.5 like wrapped or whatever, and my worst streak of like bot 4s was 3 games, and this set I've already gone like 5 games like multiple times. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting more tilted than usual this set, but it's been fun. I've been playing pretty much just anything and everything, and whenever I see Outward Mutant, I either just bitch or I just play it and have fun. So yeah.
Yeah, what are not DS?
No, the DS one's just like, I played it and I had triple ZZ Rot, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's a first, it's lit. And I have Kaiser 2. I'm like, this like the most cat board you've ever seen. I'm like, this is lit. This is a guarantee first. And then my Kaiser just like randomly just gets Zaki'd and just dies without casting, and I just lose, and I get 20 owed and just go 5th, and I'm like,
I mean that's just unlucky.
I quit.
Yeah,
No,
that sounds like BG.
okay, yeah, but yeah, since then, nope, Bruce.
If it's like Elderwood, you never lose. It's the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just like,
I mean, that's only 2 weeks old really at this point. So there's a lot of going up, there's a lot of going down, that's for sure. I mean, I think that something that you touched on, Sol, that's really important right now is that the variance of like opening with a prismatic at the start is so crazy high that like
Yep.
I mean, I'm also at the start of the set, I was noticing quite a consistent trend where like there'd be 2 people at like 85 plus health at 4-3, and there'd be about
Yup.
2 people who were 15 health, something half the time.
Yup.
There's like this huge variance in lobbies at the moment, and then everybody else is like 50 to like 40 to 70 health or something. Like everyone else is stuck playing for 4th. and it's a really, really like weird time of variance, and it's just because so many people playing and so much is going on. I think that it's like easy to get swept up in all of the hype. I want to sort of talk about what's coming for us when we're recording. It'll be tomorrow, and that's some of the sort of the buffs and nerfs. Have you guys had any chance to sort of look at what's being changed, what's being buffed, what's being nerfed? Any thoughts? I'll start with Angora.
I don't look at patch notes.
Don't look at anything. Why is
No,
that?
not really.
Out of curiosity, like, what does it not matter to you in that sense?
No, I literally I just go like completely off feels. Like if I were to just not listen to anyone else's like I would be playing the game completely different just based on what I think is good, not even necessarily what is good, probably. But yeah, like for example, like I thought Samira was beyond broken this whole like the whole beginning, right? And then like Keith and Jose's guide had Samira as like the worst unit in the game, and I was like, no, Samira's broken, Katarina's beyond broken. These units are broken. And then obviously like I'm wrong about other things as well. But yeah, I literally just go off feels, and I find that the most fun way to do it. So yeah.
And what are you feeling right now when it comes to this set? You just mentioned mutants there, and I know that there are definitely some really broken mutant variations, but is there anything else that's like sticking out to you right now as like really, really strong?
I mean, just like Urgot, this unit is so broken. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like,
Urgot
what even
is,
is this unit? Like, please. And some of the augments that synergize with this comp. Other than that, maybe I don't know. Seraphine's good. First aid is beyond broken. I don't know. There's a bunch of things that like need changing.
And they're certainly changing quite a bit. They're actually nerfing a little bit more than I expected them to, but probably not enough. But I mean, they don't want to make too many drastic changes. Razza, what are your thoughts on some of the changes that are coming up? If you've had a chance to look,
I haven't really like looked at them either.
No, if
to be
not,
honest.
no worries. Maybe give me something that's like, what are you feeling that's like too strong at the moment? You feel like the similar about Urgod and Mutant, like is it Metamorphosis or Elderwood
Yeah,
Mutant, I
the
guess?
elder one's so
Elder one,
broken.
yeah.
Yeah.
Elder is
You-
so broken.
You can like top 2, top 3 with like Malzahar 2 at 8. Like you just go
Yeah.
8 with Malzahar 2, you just top 2. It's
Dude,
so
you can top
broken.
You can top 2 with Malzahar 1. I've done that before with Elder.
Yeah.
I've top 2 with Malzahar 1.
I think I disagree with Angora in that I think the Dust one's super broken. I think it's more
No,
broken
that one's
than
really broken as well.
yeah.
But
I think it's like
the
more
reason
broken.
why it's so broken is because of like phony frontline and
Yeah,
I
and
think the
ZZ
Duster
Rod,
one-
yeah.
The Duster one has a high cap, right? Like it has high potential, but the
Mhm.
Elder one's just more consistent.
Yeah, you
probably.
just
The
go
other one,
9
you
with fucking
guarantee
Malzahar
top 4
1.
every time.
Yeah.
It's Elder one.
And it's just like you're fourth, and the 2 guys above you are also just like elder
Yeah,
mutant.
everyone's just mutants. Yeah, it's
Two
yeah.
star
No one
elder.
can kill anything.
Yep.
That's it.
Mhm.
You're always dreading that mutant check at the start of the game. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's Elder mutant. It's Elderwood. Oh god.
I had a stream the other day, and it was like probably 5-6 games in a row on stream of me just like doing the first round scouting, see who took the Cassidon, going to their
Cassidon.
board and just
Yeah.
bitching because it was just it was unbelievable, and I was so triggered. I was just getting shit on by it all day. Just not happy.
Oh, but the relief you get though when you check it and it's like Omnivamp or something. You're just like,
Blade
yeah,
Master.
bio leeching all
I can
the.
just play the game. Oh, thank God. Yeah.
I feel like
Yo.
there's still 2 people every lobby trying to go mutants, even if it's the shit ones though. Like I see Cho'Gath,
Yeah.
Malzahar in like every single one of my lobbies.
It's a lot less good though when it's not Elder or Darkstar.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's a lot less good. But
I
yeah.
think because Malzahar's just so broken.
Oh
So
yeah.
like anything with Malzahar in it is just like pretty much automatically good. And if you don't have to play Cho'Gath, then it's a big plus for like the
Yeah.
Darkstar one. If you're not playing
Mhm.
Cho'Gath, then it's lit. And I really like the Void one. The Void one's actually cool because it's not like it's a Void one. I'm just gonna play 5 mutant. It's more like I kind of need like a little bit of extra damage. I might play 3 mutant at 9 with my Kai'Sa with Morello, and it'll just fucking kill everything.
Which was the Void one? Sorry, is that Execute? Is that the one?
Yeah, Voidborn
Yeah,
or whatever.
Execute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Execute. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So that's something like my favorite one that you can like actually like play around. Most of the other ones you're just like you pretty much just ignore it unless you like. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
You'd think Mutant would be balanced considering like Cho'Gath is like basically half a unit despite taking up 2 units. Have you guys found any success playing Cho'Gath at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, and the stupid metamorphosis, like
In the
this
metamorphosis,
Whoa,
yeah,
Elderwood
yeah.
is
so
pretty good.
broken in this.
Yeah.
Or if you have,
Elderwood.
if you have like underdogs as well, that's
Yeah,
another.
underdogs, and there's also like the chemical, whatever it's called, where they like get the stats every time they level up, and then there's
That's
also
unstable evolution or whatever. The
yeah,
hell
yeah,
it's
that
called.
one, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
Shrug it off as well is another
yeah,
one.
and
Yeah.
also Woodland with Cho'Gath is kind of broken because
Oh, you just get two shows.
the mini one just like walks out, eats something, and then your big one eats that unit and kills it, and then it's like instantly down the tank, and they all spend their time hitting your shitty Cho'Gath while the rest of your units like ramping up. So it's just like that's a kind of a broken combo as well. Like I had that, I literally just played that. Like I
And
didn't
that's
even have anything. I just had this stupid Cho'Gath, and it's just like double eating everything. It's just like
The meta's changed quite a lot
Fun,
after a couple of days. You know, the first few days there was like multiple Yone players every lobby. I haven't seen as much Yone recently in the last few days. How do you guys feel about the sort of the challenger, the Yone style boards? Do you think they're in an okay spot as we go into like a patch kind of thing, Razza?
I definitely feel like they're still a bit strong. Like just the academy vertical is so strong. It's not so much like Yone being super broken, but just academy super strong. Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's just too consistent to proc it, to stack it.
The fact
So
that all the
that's
items
probably
go across each other is really good as well. Like
Yeah.
basically everything connects with one another to make it really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about Yone specifically, I feel like the comp was. I mean, I think it's still good for sure. But I think part of it is a lot of people were playing it incorrectly, and that like they're just rolling down at 4-1 for like Yone 2 and thinking that's gonna carry their board. And in reality, like a lot of the strength in that comp is in the strength of Academy as a vertical. So like you kind of need to go 8, have like upgraded front lane, Yumi, yeah, like 4 Acad probably. So it's like it's a good board when like you actually have like all the upgraded units, you're at like level 8 and whatnot. So I think part of the initial like maybe tanking and win rate is like people not realizing that it's still a fast 8 comp, and that you need upgrades, and yeah you need.
But really, I seem to feel like
Really?
every game, the academy play in my game just hits Yone 2 locks to Yumi at
They
7.
do. Okay,
And Brom
you
too,
at 7
And
too,
Brom
too.
too,
Yone
yeah,
too.
yeah.
No,
30
no,
gold.
they do for sure. They do for sure when they roll at 7. But like
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah, yeah.
that board state's still not that strong. Is what I'm trying to say. Like into like someone who fast states like for like an
Mhm.
Urgot
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
I feel like that board still
Absolutely.
just loses every time.
I think the strength of Yone as a comp is it's like power through any sort of items because you can play around the traits depending on what items you have. For example, if you have like IE, QSS Runans, you just want like pretty much mostly just like Academy and just so you can have as much AD to stack with the IE and Runans whatever, so it does so much damage. And then if you have like Ginsu instead, then it's the same thing. But if you don't have IE, then you don't really want Academy as much. Just isn't as useful, right? So I think like the huge strength and being able to slam your items and then playing around where your items are to fit your comp pretty much means you can go 9 with Yone very easily.
Sure.
Like I think that's the easiest way to like get to 9 quickly while still like not just like mega high rolling. It's just when you like play tempo Yone and slam items and yeah. And can we talk about Sunfire board? Like this shit is so broken.
Yeah.
Yep. we could definitely talk about something.
Dude,
Really?
this will never be balanced. It's so broken.
Yep.
Anti-heal
Isn't that
on like 9 units, 8 units, whatever, like 3 units. It's so good. It's ridiculous. And it's always valuable.
It definitely feels like that there are definitely like a bunch of augments right now, Sunfire board being one of them, that are just like turn your brain off auto picks. Like
Yeah.
I see Sunfire board, I just pick it. I see a Woodland Charm, I just pick it. Like it's not really too much of a decision to be made.
Especially like early. You see Woodland Charm at
Especially
2-1,
early.
and you have like a decent
Especially,
opener, you're
yeah,
just like, nice, I can like 10 streak with this. It's
yeah.
insane.
Especially early. Yeah, you might think about it like at like 3. If you get like
Yeah.
3,
You probably
like
would never
4,
take
5.
Woodland later than that, but yeah.
Yeah. You get late, you might like think about it, but I think at 1-4 there are a lot of them are just like auto picks. Especially since at 1-4 there's like most of the time you're never taking a trait-based one. So
You try
only,
not
like-
to.
Apart from
yeah,
the
you
academy
really
players.
try not to. Yeah.
They've changed
yeah, yeah.
Woodland
From the
Charm
academy
now,
players.
especially they've changed Woodland Charm.
Woodland Charm is worth talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've made it. Have they made it prismatic or have they made it gold
So they've made it prismatic. It's
Yeah.
prismatic now. But the HP is now 1500 for the clone.
instead of
so yeah.
1200?
Oh, that sounds like shit though.
So now it's kind of
yeah, the thing
useless,
is-
right?
Their
Yeah.
intention, yeah, it's probably not good at 1500, but their intention is that they want to use HP as the balancing lever. So if 1500 is like bad, they'll buff it. They'll like bring it up
Yeah.
even more. Is sort of the idea behind it. But I think that's reasonable. I think it's really, really insane at gold, at least right now.
Mm.
Honestly, I feel like it's not too bad. Honestly, just because like it
Mm.
falls off so hard.
It falls off really hard. Yeah,
Mm.
it definitely
Um,
falls off really hard. But I think we are talking in the context of taking it at 1/4, to be fair.
If you high roll as well, like
Mm.
like the people that have like a Trundle 2, like at 2-1 with Woodland Charm.
Yeah.
You're sitting here
yeah,
like with your
yeah.
Ziggs
It's-
1, Poppy 1,
yeah.
you're just like, bro, like.
Yeah.
So
The other
Definitely
augment, I
agree that,
guess, that we.
oh, you go.
Sorry, you go, Sol.
Oh, I was just putting a full stop that I definitely agree that Sunfire is pretty busted and is really hard to balance because there's zero counterplay. It just Sunfires your entire team, and that's always gonna be just super insane. But
Yeah, it's interesting to see something like Metabolic Accelerator escape without any crazy changes as well. I feel like that's another one of those like auto pick, turn your brain offs at 1/4 or 3/3, where it's just so much value, too much value, you know.
I think that's the best augment in the game. Like actually,
yeah,
I'm
I
never regretted
think
taking
so
it.
too.
You just don't get
I
punished. Like
think
you're
so
so
too. My
greedy with it, you
goodness.
don't get punished.
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy how like differing opinions are of the
It
augment,
is
though.
interesting how
Like
polarized.
a lot
Yeah.
of people think it's like by
Yeah.
far the most broken, and a lot of people think it's
Yeah.
like completely useless.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I
That's
just play super greedy, like when I have it,
You're-
and I
you're-
get away
you're
with like
not
things
on
that
it?
I shouldn't be able to get away
I'm
with.
the opposite. I'm the opposite. I just like because
Don't like it?
what I do with it is
Mm.
like I only take it if I'm gonna lose the first like couple rounds, and then I
Yeah.
just roll on 6 and heal all the way back up to 100, and then
Yeah.
guarantee like top 2,
Mhm.
top 3, and most of
Yeah.
the time you can
Yeah.
like actually cap your
Mhm.
board as well. And like it's definitely super strong, but
Yeah.
I feel like it is interesting how a lot of people think it's complete shit.
Yeah, I
What?
still have
People think
people.
it's bad.
Dude, I
Yeah.
still have people in my lobbies complaining about it. They're like, I have this, and one of them they bring up metabolic etc. And I'm just like, what? Why are you complaining about metabolic
Sometimes if you take it, like if you take it and your last pick on Kara, right? You can like wait till the guy's just about to take the item and just zoom in and like grab it from him with movement speed.
I don't know. I always like whenever someone complains about it in chat or whatever in like one of my games, I always just type like I heard having 140 life is pretty good. Like it's just the way to think
Yeah.
about it. You just have 40,
Yeah.
50 extra life every game. Like
You're
that's
playing
like, well,
medium.
good.
You're playing medium legends basically. Everyone else is
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
regular TFT.
Yeah,
I think
you're
the biggest thing with it is it seems super broken, but you're also down like a complete like what's it called?
it's
Augment. You're down a
Augment.
complete
it's not
augment to
yeah.
someone
It doesn't
else.
like make your board state stronger. That's the most important thing I think. It doesn't make
So,
your
for
board state
example,
stronger.
I still
Yeah.
think Sunfire is a lot stronger than it, just because like it makes your board so much stronger. You
Yep.
win these rounds, so instead of you gain 2 health. Like who gives a like who cares, right?
I think metabolic is a lot worse if you know your board can like streak. Because with metabolic, because
yeah,
as we
for
just
sure.
mentioned, right, you lose board strength, so you have to make up for that by making more econ, right? So you end up pumping you make up for the deficit in board strength like via augment by just having like pumping more gold into your comp. Is that how you make up with it? So if you take metabolic and you try to like win streak, then I think it's not very good. Like yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Something that we've yet to talk about is pirates, mercenaries.
Oh, don't get me started, please.
It's just so fucking broken.
We're
It's
gonna
getting up,
get
it's getting up.
we'll get
getting up.
started on it. Basically, every one of the units is getting nerfed in some way. Like the
Yeah.
traits getting nerfed. Basically, everything's getting nerfed. How deserved is it out of 10? Like 15? Razza, what do you think?
20 out of 10.
I haven't played enough of it, but I honestly feel like it doesn't need that big of a nerf. Like it just needs like maybe a small tweak. Honestly, I don't know. I like these traits, and I don't like it when these traits are unplayable.
They're certainly fun. It's way too fucking overtuned right now, though. I mean, it's so broken. I mean, Someone in my lobby today had Jinx 2 at 3-6, like cashed out, basically got a free 2-star 5 cost from like 8 loss. Jinx 2, there you go. End of game. See you later. I guess I'm bot 4. Angora, you've made a lot of faces. Why don't you give me your full opinion on pirates right now, on mercenaries?
I fucking hate mercenaries. I hate anything to do with this cash out bullshit. Where sometimes you just get like the most insane shit. Other times you get fucking garbage. But the point is like it's so easy to like. How is it possible to get people get mercenary heart?
Yeah.
And also, can I just point out how like the emblems are fucking useless, but the hearts are beyond broken because nobody uses the emblems very like well in the set, and it's a tier 2 augment. But the hearts are just beyond broken. You get them for free, so you can just play 5 mercenary at level 4. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yep.
And like the amount of people that have had 5 mercenary at like 2-3 in my game, and then just hit
Yeah.
Tahm Kench 3, and you just lose. And there's nothing you can do. Like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And I hate that about the game. Just
I think
nerf
it's
5 mercenary for sure, and like just make it less likely or something. Like this mercenary heart is just so triggering. Whenever I see anyone get it, it's just like the most triggering thing.
I think like it's really problematic on ladder where there's always someone weak enough to cash
Yeah.
the
there's always
mercenary
someone
play
who can
out.
catch them out.
But I don't think it'll be like as problematic in like a tournament setting where
No, I
people
assure
will
you,
know.
it's so easy to cash out the set.
You think so?
Like,
I just
it-
yeah, because like in set 4, right? It was like in tournament it was hard to cash out because everyone would just make themselves strong to.
yeah, but the
Stop the guy
units
from
you were
cashing
using
out.
were fucking garbage.
Yeah, but part of
The
it is the
units
power
this
in
set
units.
are
The
insane.
units are good. Yeah, the units are really
Right,
good.
right, yeah.
Like,
MF
Inés
shouldn't
probably
be
the
a
strongest
merc.
we've got, right?
MF's ridiculous. MF is like
MF
too
being a
good
merc is
Yeah.
hella
to be a
sus.
merc.
MF and just GP like
Mm.
these units, man.
GP just GP like saves you because even if you're lose streaking, you make like fucking 2 gold a round basically because GP just always last hits 2 units. Or he just walks
My
back
GP
line
never
and
does.
fucking...
My GP sucks every time. Like,
Dude,
I don't know
there's
what it is. My GP is always a dumbass.
There's
Yeah,
so many
it's your GP,
units.
yeah.
There's so many units to set that like when you play them, you're just like, why this unit is so worthless. When they're played against you, you're just like Jinx. When you play Jinx, you always just runs it down.
Yeah,
when
she
she
just
plays against you,
yeah.
Yeah.
she just never gets
The same as
attacked.
with it's
like,
the same as with Jin. Like when you're playing
Jhin?
burst Jin, just always force shots your Jinx as soon as she lands. And it's just like when I play Jin, he can't even fucking do anything. So it's like
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
stuck on the Brom for like three rounds of ults, and then
It was like
that's
the
it.
worst angle as well.
and Lissandra's like so
Yeah,
buggy
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Like this Lissandra unit is like
Yeah,
full
yeah,
mana
yeah.
and she just doesn't cast. And she actually
Mhm.
doesn't even cast on herself when she's below 50%
Well,
health.
she casts and it just fizzles. It's
Because
so bad.
yeah, exactly. And then you just
Yeah.
like lose rounds for no reason because of it. Like, please.
Mhm.
It's the same as with Singe.
Yeah,
His ult
yeah, I know
fizzles
what you're talking
sometimes,
about.
and you're just like, I just
Yeah.
lose because my Singe bugged. Like, please.
Oh, dude, have you guys like ever played like maybe the same with playing like Singe together with Blitzcrank? I swear to God, those two units just into each other. Like, Blitz pulls the carry and then Singe just yeets it back into the backline for them.
Okay, I have a different experience where like
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now. Okay, the worst thing is when you like get Shroud. Okay, I got Shroud from
Oh, you
Scrap,
shot
right?
Blitz.
And it
Oh,
shrouds
yeah.
their Blitz. My
Oh,
fucking
yeah, yeah,
bait
yeah.
unit walks up and it
Yep,
just hooks
yep.
my Israel.
And
And I take 14 damage, but I'm twice as strong as him. And I'm just sitting there like, nice. I guess I'm just not running Scrap ever again, just in case it rolls a fucking
Yep.
Shroud. Like, please.
Yeah. Dude, when you shroud Blitz and it turns into Thresh.
Or you pull their Singed, right? And then the Singed lands next to your Israel and flips your Israel into the enemy team. Like, how does that even happen? It just happens so often though. And it's just
Yeah.
it's impossible to not bitch. It's actually impossible. Like
Speaking of like Singed and Jin, I guess we can quickly talk about innovators. They're changing the dragon. They're making it like
Look
Buffing
cool.
the dragon.
seriously buffing it. It like does a big AoE thing on the whole board now.
Isn't it
Like
only appearance wise? It actually doesn't change the effect of it? Or does it change it as well?
No. I think it's actually like infinitely better now. Like there's a bunch of buffs for it. I'll see if I can find the slide. I have it open. Where is it?
definitely needs a buff. It doesn't feel as strong as like previous like big
Yeah.
monster traits.
Oh, where the fuck is it?
It
Here we go. Here we
gets
go.
enforced.
Okay.
Mine just gets
So,
enforced and fucking dies every
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
round.
Okay, so it's immune to all CC now, which means it doesn't. Oh, so Enforcer is getting a rework in case anyone doesn't know. So Enforce, you can no longer enforce CC immune units. So
Ooh.
Colossus units no longer get enforced. I don't know if QSS
QSS.
stops enforce. I think
probably will
QSS is
stop
going to stop
it.
enforcing. Yeah, I think so. So the
is good.
dragon is now immune to all CCs, so that's not getting enforced anymore. And then it's basically getting extra like more fear range, so it fears more units. And it's getting it's scaling harder with star level is what it says. Star level modifier, so 25%. I'm
So
assuming
maybe
it
like
just
reroll
scales
will be
better
good.
now. Yeah,
Reroll
I have,
innovators.
I have no clue.
But I guess if you
yeah.
hit like an Israel 3 now, you actually can like stay in that
Yeah,
board.
yeah,
They
yeah.
buffed
That's
Ezreal
something.
3 as well. I know they buffed they've nerfed Ezreal 1 and 2 and buffed Ezreal 3, I
Mm.
believe, as well. So
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds good.
I mean, at the very least, they're opening up sort of different styles. I feel like there's quite a lot of the innovator units are actually pretty good, but like they just
Oh,
kind of
this
need a
is
little bit of
a-
help at the late game.
This is an interesting detail as well. It says enforcers will no longer detain units who are immune to CC effects, but Zephyr also takes priority. So I'm assuming you can't enforce a unit that you're Zephyring,
Oh, thank God.
which is pretty good.
That happens so often. And
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
like different enforce the same unit.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
how's that a thing?
So so it says enforcers will skip over these and pick the next valid
The
type.
next
So
highest?
that's,
Oh, that's
I think
nice.
that's just thank God. Like that's just good change overall.
You can actually do so much with that as well.
Mhm. Yep.
I will.
But yeah, bunch
Yeah.
of bunch of nerfs to Merc that we discussed earlier. It looks like it's mostly targeted towards 5 and 7 Merc by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's 5 Merc that is just disgusting.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
okay with 3 Merc. It's the interaction with the augments that
Yeah.
makes it problematic. Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, 3 Merc's honestly fine.
5 Merc is so rough. I had a 3 loss streak today. I got 2 Nikos and 10 gold off 3 losses in the mid game.
In our game today, I was playing with Rex, and Fidenice is like guaranteed 8th. He just like randomly hits Yone 2 with like BIS items.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
gets, like it was like a 10 cash out, and he got like 2 funds, Nico like
Jesus fucking
80
It
Christ.
gold or
happened,
something.
it happened the next game as well. I think I was with you another game, and it happened again. Like
Yeah, the same thing.
Really?
back to back.
Fuck me.
And I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm just sitting here like,
It is just happening every game because there's always 2 people that are like weak, really weak in the lobbies. Basically,
Yeah, someone will always cash on that.
but it's sometimes it's always worth it to like it's better. It's in your like interest to sack. And if you happen to verse that guy, like there's nothing you can really do. And low key, like
absolutely.
I was in a position today, and I wanted to verse the guy who was going to cash out. Like I wanted him to cash out because either I fight him now and I cash him out, or I fight him next turn when he's cashed out because he's strong as fuck. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after
It's
you
like-
catch him out, he starts doming everyone for 1 million as well in his fights.
yeah.
So
as long as you're in like an okay spot, then it doesn't feel too bad. But it's when you're in like you're like in 4th place, you're like kind of poor because you have to roll a little bit. You're guaranteed bot 2, just because like the 2 people in 8th place are always playing Mercenaries. So it's just like
yeah. That definitely doesn't feel great for sure.
Yeah, let's I think that's probably a pretty good place to end our sort of current set 6 discussion. Look, the nerfs will be live tomorrow. They'll probably be live by the time that this gets out there, at least for Oshi. So get out there and test some new stuff out, guys. Please stop playing Mercs in all of our lobbies. Thank you very much. We're gonna move on to the main topic this evening, and that is maintaining high ranks in TFT. We're talking to 2 people that have maintained strong challenger level over multiple sets, and not only that, but we're going to talk a little bit about whether or not pressure is a factor, whether or not these situations are stressful, and how do we get around that. We're also going to talk a little bit about streaming because most of our guests on here are streamers as well. I want to start with you, Angora, someone that's like consistently rank 1. I'm gonna hesitate to guess and say like you don't feel stressed when you play this game. You mentioned that you tilt, but do you ever feel like nervous when you're playing TFT?
yeah, sometimes honestly, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's like pretty normal too. I think, but nothing like I don't get like ranked anxiety or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But but I think that just like comes with like I've said it once, but like once you're rank 1, you have like permanent like post nut clarity. Like permanently, you always know what's up. I'm not kidding. It fucks. So you like yeah. So like what yeah. Once you break that, yeah.
Talk to
There's
me
no stopping
a
it.
little bit about ranked anxiety. I'm sure that there will be people that are listening that are like, man, even with these changes, like I know I can't demote from plat 4 to gold 1 or whatever. Like I want to go for diamond, but I'm not sure. Like, do you have any advice for people that are playing the game that like want to get over, really want to try and hit a new rank or something like that?
I mean, it's straight up just play more
Yeah.
and not worry so much about like you shouldn't be worrying about your rank because it essentially like it doesn't really mean anything in particular, right? Like of course you can set goals and that's good to do and you'll improve by doing that, but like overall it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not you're certain rank or not. As long as you're like improving, then I mean that's the only thing that particularly matters. But yeah, playing more, but also like not playing too much. So I think one of them, like I'm not typically like a big grinder. I don't normally play like fucking insane amount of games or play a lot of games in a row. That's why I never really streamed or anything because it was like I normally take a break after most of my games because I'm either like fucking mentally exhausted or tilted as fuck. So yeah, like I think just like take your breaks when you're playing and always go into each game with like a clear mind. You don't want to be, you just lost to Metamorphosis Cho'Gath. Don't go into the next game like tilted and you see the void. You're gonna, yeah. So
Yep.
probably just go into each game fresh.
Yeah. I want to bring this over to Razzo, someone that's been in like, I don't know, probably the most stressful situation that TFT can put out for you, and that's like a like a final lobby world championship, pressure on the line. I'm literally looking at my opponent's boards every single round. I'm moving, I'm changing around. I'm trying to remember the wisdom that my friends and I have gone through hours and hours of VOD review for. Talk to me a little bit about how you deal with pressure and deal with sort of the stress that comes with playing TFT, if you even have any.
I mean, I don't think I get that like stressed or anxious anymore, but I definitely used to. I think I just like I do something called a mindfulness meditation to kind of like um quiet my mind. I think it's the best way to put it. Because like you will get stressed like in tournaments, and you'll get like jittery, and your mind will kind of be like all over the place. So for me to combat that, it's kind of like I just like take maybe 5-10 minutes and do a bit of like mindfulness meditation to just mental reset. It like kind of like brings me into the moment, and for me it keeps me off autopilot because I think that's like the worst thing you can do, like when you're grinding TFT. Let me think. What else is there?
You're talking about being like present while you're playing TFT, basically, right? You sort
Yeah,
of always making sure that your mind's in a position to like always be thinking about what you're gonna do next.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just make sure like your mind's like focused instead of just like drifting.
And you find that that has a significant like impact on how you play specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you start, you don't really notice it right away, but eventually, like it shows itself through like results.
And was that something that you were working on, like playing in those sort of those high end lobbies? Were you sort of making sure to keep your mind focused at all times, like taking
Yeah, yeah.
little seconds to practice that?
Even like in game as well. I do this little thing where like I breathe in for 4 seconds, I hold for 1, and then I breathe out for 6, and that helps like slow me down and like calm me down so I can like focus. It's like sometimes you get really stressed and you're just like a bit jittery. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
like
another
the
little thing that I do in
yeah.
game.
I feel like those lobbies are at like 2 or 3 in the morning or something as well, right? Like they were pretty much like overnight or something like
We
that.
started
So
like 11 or something, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's so brutal.
we'll come on to sort of more tournament specific stuff, but can I just ask you, do you like how does that change the way I'm obviously it fucks with your sleep schedule, but
Yeah.
like how long did it take you to kind of get prepared to be like, oh, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. is the time where my mind has to be the most active? Because for most people usually that's the
Probably about like
middle of the day.
yeah, like 3 weeks. I think I just like screwed my sleep schedule over like 3 weeks slowly until it was like in that zone.
Hmm.
I honestly still haven't like fully fixed it yet because like before that I was waking up at like 9, like not before 9 like most days, and then like these days I wake up like 10:30, like 11. I still haven't like fully like gotten back to my previous sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Talk to me a little bit about how streaming, because for me when I stream, I'm having like I always have quite a difficult time. Like, here's my TFT game, here's my chat. This I'm like talking to my friends. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Do you guys think that it negatively, or does it have any impact on you guys playing TFT?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a huge like negative impact because people are watching you play as well, and so you don't really want to make mistakes. So because of that, you're like second guessing a lot of like the decisions that you make. So for me personally, I can't speak for like other streamers, but for me personally, I'm always second guessing my decisions when I'm streaming because I do think that a lot of the players in my chat are better as well. So kind of like don't want to get flamed, for like say Angora in the chat after he sees me do something stupid. So, but then like if I'm like off stream, playing off stream, and I don't really play off stream much nowadays. But like when I'm playing off stream, it's like every decision I make is like with purpose. It's just like I'm confident about this, which like is a lot better. Especially like when I'm streaming as well, I find myself like wasting time hovering between two decisions, and I don't end up making a decision like on time, and then the round starts. Whereas like off stream, I'll just make a decision, I'll be confident with it, and I do think like with TFT as well, it's better to like make the wrong decision than like not make a decision at all and just go into a round like not having done anything. Yeah, that's like from how streaming impacts me like negatively.
Interesting. Angora, you sort of smiled when you heard the sort of Razza talking about like making wrong decisions. Do you think it's like very important to just go, it seems like to me it seems like you're quite like a gut reaction player. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. Let's see how it goes. Like, I think this is good. We'll do it. Let's see what happens. Do you think that's important? Like, do you find that's an important way to play TFT?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the best way to play it because if you feel like it's good in that moment, then it probably is, unless you don't play the game. But I do agree with what Rick said, and I think that was one of the big things that both Rex and Isha have had, and that's probably why they went to Worlds, is they were actually confident in their plays and they weren't afraid to like they played it their way. For example, in like in the OC qualifiers last set, there was like a game that Isha played, and he literally just like he played like a dumbass. He just slammed Sin Spat for no reason. Like it was painful to watch.
Oh, I
but
remember this game. Yeah.
Wait, is this a
Yeah.
Sin Fiddle game? I don't remember.
it was
Is
like
that the
he
one?
he played like Sin Zigs or something early game. I don't remember.
Oh,
Mm.
Sin
And
Zig,
like
okay.
it was never really correct to slam it. But it was just what
Right.
he was comfortable with at that time, and he like played a really good game, and like that was the best game he played.
It was correct for him to slam it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
that's like the important thing I think is like just because it's like not necessarily the correct play, sometimes it can be like a better play, you know. And I think that's like one of my like bigger weaknesses in a way, in the sense of like I don't have like the like it in because in ladder, there's so many games, and because I feel like I have like the strongest like fundamental like like yeah like fundamental like understanding of the game. So in solo queue, I feel like on ladder over so many games, like I'll pretty much always be at the top of the ladder. But in tournaments, when there's fewer games, sometimes I don't just like I won't just be like I need to just force metamorph like Elderwood fucking Cho'Gath here. I'll just be like, I'll take dice. This sounds kind of fun. I'm gonna play reroll fucking Cogmore in my tournament and not hit any with my dice. And so yeah, I think like sometimes you need to be a bit more like stubborn with what you actually think you like should do, and just be like it's actually, and it's the same as with Chunga as well. Like in set 5.5, he had like so many holes in his gameplay, but he was so close to making it, and he was like really good at Vel'Koz, so he just played it every game. And it ended up being his like downfall in a sense, but it still like got him, like yeah. So
I mean, it got
I
him
think
really, really, really close, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly. So
yeah,
I think it is like pretty important just to like stick to your guns, and yeah, hopefully I'll like it's like hard to say to like learn from it because you don't really realize you're making the mistake at the time until like later when you're like, fuck, I should have just done this or done that or whatever. I mean, sometimes it's like out of your control, you know.
Yep.
5 fucking games, so yeah. But yeah, for sure, just stick to your guns and play how you like to
I
play.
think, yeah, I think like a lot of it has to do with the fact that like you only have a set amount of time to make every decision, right?
Yeah.
And to pull like an example from like another game, which is League of Legends, like in the pro scene, if you watch like pro games, like pros do like dumb shit all the time. Like even as a team, like they'll randomly throw, like they'll commit to like plays that are really bad. But I think like the key thing that distinguishes like the better players from like the worst players is that when they do something, they just commit to it. Like you just pull the trigger, and a lot of the time, like the trigger pulls are just based on intuition. Like you just do it because you think it's right, right? And if like we could translate it back to TFT, like if you think something's right, like you just like intuitively feel it's right, you just do it. Like you don't like. There's no point spending like a minute agonizing over a decision. You know, you're like, oh, I don't know. Just pick a thing and commit. You know.
Yeah, move on.
And I think a lot of the time it works out more than it doesn't work out. And if it doesn't work out, you just learn from it basically.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference in what's going on now with augments to previous sets, where the augment rounds are giving you a significant amount of time to like make a decision. Like 40 seconds
So much time.
is so
That's
much
so
time.
much time in
So
augment
and a
rounds,
lot of the time you're sitting there, maybe you pick one really quickly, and all of a sudden you got to sit there for 35, 40 seconds. That's actually like a really good period of time in a TFT game, if we can sort of relate this back to people that are maybe listening to this and wanting to improve. Like that amount of time there is a really good chance for you to start working on like fundamentals of TFT, like looking at other people's boards, making sure that you've got the units in the positions that you want them, those kind of things. You're actually given a lot of time in TFT, and if you're using it to make good decisions, then you actually have the rest of the time to like improve yourself as a player. I think that's another important sort of aspect of TFT that doesn't quite get talked about a lot. And Gore, I want to ask about your stream. You're not like, you don't stream like all the time, but when you do you find that it affects you playing as well, similar to Razza?
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you'll still like have a really good game. Like I had a few like really good games on my last stream where I felt like I played really good, and that was like it feels like really good to like play really good on stream. And then other times you just like get like a little bit distracted, and then something else happens, and you just like kind of go sixth without even knowing what happened. And that's when it feels like a little bit bad to. But overall, I think it definitely does have like an effect, but as long as you're like thinking through your decisions yourself and not getting too in your head, it probably wouldn't have as much of an effect. But that's hard to do, right? So
Absolutely. We had two amazing guests on, which were Jose and Keith, a couple of weeks ago, and we asked them about tournament preparation in terms of talking about duo mode. We're not going to specifically talk about duo mode right now, but we've got a former world's representative here, someone who clearly went through hours and hours of tournament preparation, and I want to ask you guys about sort of the VOD review aspect of like reviewing TFT. How significant do you think that it was for like the overall improvement of your play, Razza?
Huge. I think it's probably the biggest difference actually for me, because I think on the day that I qualified, I probably wasn't even in like the top 10 best plays in the region, honestly. So like the amount of VOD review I did from then to Worlds was just just so much improvement. I think I just learned so much. It was the single biggest like contributor, I think, to my run.
Do you think people should do it more often?
Yeah, I think like people should do it like at least once a week if they're trying to improve. It's the single best way to improve. probably like you probably have to VOD review with someone and not by yourself because it's hard to like identify your own mistakes, I think. But it's easy for other people to pick out your mistakes, and vice versa, right? You picking out other people's mistakes. And if anything, like even if you try to pick up a mistake and you're wrong, at least you open up a discussion about it with like say another high level player or another player of similar skill, then you can discuss it and come to like an agreement with what's best.
If I had to put if I sort of word this question as best as I can, what do you think like what part of your play improved the most from VOD review?
I don't even know. I was
it's a
so
strange
bad
question.
at everything. I was like so bad at everything. Like everything
Fundamentals.
improved. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Angora? Because you were a big part of that process as well. As someone
Probably
that
just like
helped.
roll timings.
Roll timings.
He was rolling on weird times and nibbling on weird times. It was yeah, like pretty much with like no purpose.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that would like always complain when I'm fighting the person who's level 5 on 2-2. But like
I'm always the guy who's level 5 on 2-2 after one loss.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
like
would
sometimes
always
it's the best
be,
thing for you to do, right?
Yeah.
But like when people do that for like nothing, then I'm triggered. But like
Yeah.
like sometimes it's just the best thing to do with like hyper roll and like a few of these gold augments. Sometimes it's just like the best way to play your game out. And maybe to play like a little bit of an idiot. That's actually just like the best way for you to play the game.
Sometimes you see the guy whose name is like ASDF GHWW and he levels to 5 at 2-2 to play 2 Ezreal
Yeah.
ones.
I think that does bring up an interesting point. That I think this set, more than other sets, we've seen level timings be the most sort of dynamic and flexible, just because of the effect that the econ augments have on the game, right? Yeah, so like a lot of people level like off tempo or like at really sort of weird times as a result. I think it's pretty interesting.
Taking like that's like Windfall. Like I've taken Windfall early at like 1-4, have like 30 gold level 6 at 2-5.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Yo.
I remember I was like I was level 4 and I just had like I think I got like a 3 I just got like a 5 gold opener or something. And then I like was holding like MF and GP trying to find like an Alawi or something. I don't even remember what it was. But I was like level 4 or like level 5, like 10 gold. And this other guy's level 5, 50 gold at 2,
That one
3 or
definitely
something.
needs a nerf.
And I'm just sitting
100%.
here like
Cool.
we're not even
It's
playing
getting
the
nerfed.
game.
It's getting nerfed.
It's getting
Yeah,
nerfed.
it's so
It's getting nerfed.
broken. Yeah.
Windfall is for sure getting nerfed. It's confirmed. I think I got the graphic wrong on the things. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I would assume it's probably 5 gold less at every
Yeah, probably
interval.
5. Yeah,
It's probably
Okay,
15, I think, instead of 20. Yeah,
probably still pretty good.
Reasonable. Yeah.
it's probably still insane, by the way.
It's like hyper
15
roll.
gold.
When it went from 3 gold to 2 gold, still insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hyper roll 1-4 is so crazy.
Yeah, look, Angora, I'll ask you from the other position, the one that's like reviewing the VODs. And I know that Razza said like he needed to improve in literally everything before the tournament, but what are some of the major things, like when you're sitting there, maybe you're coaching someone, maybe you're doing the specific VOD review, what are you looking for when you're like going over somebody's game? Are you watching like a game they went second? Are you watching like back-to-back games they went eighth? Like where is that kind of that? Are you watching them all back to back? So to talk me through the kind of the process of VOD review from your angle.
Yeah. The best thing to do is probably just take like a selection of games that are like in a row, or maybe not even in a row, but just like maybe like one a day, just like a random one within a day. Do something like that. And then you get like a good like wide selection of scores and situations. Some days the meta is different to other days. So you might just be playing Urgot every game. The next day you want to be playing something else or whatever. You might just be feeling something else. Yeah, probably just like selecting like it's like a good like maybe like 5 games over 5 days or whatever. Maybe like a couple a day even. Yeah.
Okay.
Was that what did you ask again?
Yeah, sorry. No, that was good. That was I also add on to that, sort of talk to me about some of the kind of things that you're looking for when it comes to like through those games. Like
oh yeah. So for set 5, I feel like it's different for every set.
Yeah.
So for example, on this set I feel like it's probably more based around like level timings and rolling, Whereas like last set it was mostly about like item economy. The set before that it was just like, I don't know, something else. Maybe like how you played around Chosens. There was like a lot you could do in the early game with Chosens that pretty much no one in OC was doing. Yeah, probably just for this set it's probably mostly looking at like the augment decisions, and then just like the big turns. When you're trying to
like-
like figure out what you're trying to play.
I feel like no one in OC looks at like item economy as well.
Yeah.
Like I always just get grief by someone and like they just take an item that they shouldn't be taking like in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just like molding because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can confirm and can agree with that one. Like nothing is more frustrating than someone else being an idiot and it fucks your game over.
Yeah, you're just like, why is this guy taking a fucking sword? Like,
I think I think a lot of players, see just obsess over like best in slot items, and
Yeah.
they're just like, I gotta pick the thing the guide says to pick.
Bro, anyone that takes my fucking sword is public enemy number one. Like, but that's like, because it is at the end of the day, it's a game where it's you against everybody else. And if someone like takes their thing and then it takes your item and then it sits on their bench until 4-4 or something, I'm like,
Yep.
I like come back and look at their board. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
fuck
That's the person
you.
you're scouting the Zephyr for.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you
That's the dude that you come back and look at. And, like, when he goes sixth, you like just post, you like smiley face and then
on
slash
the way
it all.
ping.
Yeah,
That is
Exactly.
me. I'm 100% scouting that one dude, and I'm gonna ping his ass. And yeah, I'll be cheering when I kill him.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like, that's like a fun aspect of
Ruthless.
the game. It is, and
Yeah.
you should be like, that's how you get good at this game. Like, you need to be ruthless. Like, at the same time, that guy probably is like, I'm gonna screw this dude over. You know. So if you want to get back at him, you got to do everything you can to ruin his fucking game for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's probably not even thinking. He's just like, oh, sword, shiny. I'm
Yeah.
taking it.
That reminds me of
Yeah.
the itchy fishbowl, the last game of like the second tournament in set 4. It's the last game. Itchy just needs he pretty much needs to just not go 8th, and then fishbowl just like needed like he needed to like probably win the game, and he had like the spot to win, and Itchy just takes the spat that he didn't need at all, and you can just tell Fish is just like sitting there like just completely just like, bro, like you just fucked my game, and then they both go 7-8. It's like pain.
And that happened just the
that's,
other day as well in the NA event. Solus was playing Samira reroll, and the dude that he needed to finish 1 above tried to play Samira. He like rolled at 7 to 0, took 6 Samira, and then the guy went 8th, and then he qualified.
There's the really famous one. I don't know if you guys remember back in like set 3 where Kiyun was like a GP away from like stage rights, and then Cottontail just straight up griefs his GP.
Stole it. Just fucking takes it.
Kiyun misses worlds because of it.
Bro, those are the saddest times when the thing you need is on the opposite side. Like, let's say it's like 4-4, you need the 5 cost. It's like turns up on the opposite side. You're like, it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm never getting
I think it's more triggering than when you need a tier, and then it's on like the 5 cost jinx that like the first pick always takes, and you're like second pick, and you're just like sitting there like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
That's it. And there's never Akali there whenever I'm playing syndicates and I need the Akali.
Oh, don't get me started. This Akali unit, she does not come. She does not show up.
She never shows up. And then when she shows up,
She-
you die anyway. So it's fine.
She only shows
Yeah.
up when you're not playing Syndicate. Whenever you
She
commit
shows
to it,
up
she
when
never
it's worse
shows
when
up.
you don't want to hit her anymore. It makes your board weaker.
All these other Syndicate players hit Akali 2 at 8. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else gets it.
I had a game yesterday, and I was in like a really good spot playing Akali, and I have more money than Admiration, who's playing Akali as well, and he hits Akali 2, Galio 2, Jace 2 in the one roll down, and I don't even hit a single Akali, and I just like bleed
Yeah.
out and go like 8th or something, and I'm just like
Eee.
like the lobby was like super close, and he like wins the lobby, and I go 8th, and I'm like,
That's
wow.
just-
guess it's just
Just
better.
yeah, it's just better, It's more skilled.
I was just sitting there like, bro, like
More
please.
skilled.
And then the next game actually, I'm playing Lux and I'm rolling on 7, and I just like hit 2 Akalis, and I'm just like,
Yep. Yep.
Relatable.
It happens all the time. I want to finish off this sort of discussion on VOD review and tournament preparation, with sort of a final little question to the two of you who've sort of been through this process. What would you change? Would you change anything about the way that you guys went through it, or did anything like it, going into, let's say, the next set of tournaments? I want to start with you, Razza. You know, like working towards a tournament for set 6. Would you change the way that you prepared or did VOD review, or in any way anything like that?
Honestly, not really. I think VOD reviews is the best way to improve. Just like maybe record my VOD reviews this time around so I can go over them myself. Because I didn't have that the first time around. But overall, I think the way I prep is pretty good for me. How I play as a player.
Yeah. And you'd like to be able to sort of go back and listen to them again. So like you just
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 times, you're like, okay, at this point he said this, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Angora, how about you? Do you think that sort of that style of preparation is working for you? Do you think you'll continue doing it as we sort of move towards tournaments in set 6?
I like the only games that I really like review are like my tournament games. Because honestly, I feel like just playing, like for me, playing more games, watching other people and reviewing other people's games is like more beneficial for like me improving. Generally when I like watch over my own games, like when I'm playing, literally like everything I do is for a reason. So when I just rewatch over my own games, even with like other people, I just like I say my reason. It's like, oh yeah, well, fair enough. It's like, okay. So I feel like maybe if I would review it with like different people, maybe like Keith or Jose, or I'm not too sure. Honestly, I don't know. Whatever I'm doing it's not like not working, but it's not really working either. Like I want to go to Worlds. I want to rep for OCE, but yeah, that's not happening yet. So when I go to Worlds, I'll tell you if I change anything.
Okay, we'll have you back
Yeah,
on.
answer will probably be no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have you back on in like the end of March or something, you know.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
This is a perfect segue into discussing tournament play. Razza, sorry, was there something that you wanted to add there? Did I interrupt you?
No,
Perfect.
not at all.
Soul, anything to add on that point at all before we carry on?
No, I think that was perfect.
Sweet. Let's discuss OCE esports, gizmos and gadgets. That's like the first time I've ever said the set name. Sounds fucking stupid. Who thought gizmos and gadgets was a cool name? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. We have
That's what I'm saying.
we have OCE esports news. We have sort of the full calendar of events coming up, and the next one is in like 11 days time. It's the Arcanist Cup, where 8 players will pass through to a next tournament. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sort of preparing. We'll get another patch. Actually, we won't. It'll be on this patch. Technically, the next patch coming up tomorrow. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about like sort of the event schedule. We have quite a few tournaments in here. Like definitely a lot more than we've probably had previously from like an actual big events standpoint. So what are your sort of early thoughts, Razza, on this kind of thing?
I like it a lot. I like that we have more tournaments. Also like that we have I think we have ladder like slots into tournaments as well. Because I think we didn't have that many snapshots last set, right? And also last set they all funneled into MSI. So if you performed badly in that one tournament, you were screwed. Like because you just couldn't make regional final through any like ladder snapshots into it. So I like that a lot. Because like the best way to get the best players, like the most consistent ones, is through ladder snapshots, right? Because that's the only way to tell how good people are, like through ladder. So I think I like that a lot. What else was it? Let me just take a look at it.
No, that's okay. Yeah, we've got like the Challenger series for the ladder snapshots. We've got the snapshots themselves. And those Challenger Series events are the ones that are invitational only. 16, like the top 16 from ladder have a chance to go through.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah.
To the mid-set invitational. Angora, your thoughts on that as someone that's basically like lived in the top 16 for his entire TFT career?
Yeah, the people that make it through the open 20s are always the weaker players every set. They may do well in one fucking day or one thing, but it's always the same people at the top of every tournament, and they're always the same people at the top of the ladder, or like if they would be at the top of the ladder if it was like worthwhile. But yeah, the Challenger Series is like a nice added thing. Yeah, I haven't looked too much into like the format of the actual Challenger Series and stuff. Like I think it's like it's just like the top 4 from your lobby move on or something.
Yeah, so
Which
it's two lobbies of 8,
Mhm.
and the top 4 from
Yeah.
each go through to the mid-set invitational or regional finals.
Yeah. So it's something like that, which sounds fine.
I think it's good. It's like better,
it's a good
right?
extra. It's a good extra thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely like an improvement. The only thing I'm like a little bit iffy about is 8 people from leaderboards in set 6.5. And that is because it's based on effectively 2 snapshots, because I think they're dropping 1 or something. So it's like
Yeah.
it's
They've,
like very like whoever will have like, I mean, it's like especially at like the super. I mean, within 2 weeks, it'll still end up like rounding out, but it would feel pretty gutting to like just like not make it through MSI, which is like pretty easy to do. I think like you can just easily get knocked out in tournaments. It's just how they go.
Yep.
And then to like miss out on the leaderboards. I mean, there's still quite a lot of people that get through, so maybe it'll be okay.
There are a lot of ways in.
Yeah.
They very much said that the like the point of it is that set 6 is gonna be like a marathon, whereas set 6.5 is more gonna be like a sprint. Which I think makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of has to be.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun to watch.
I think the set 5 format was just griefed by Riot, not necessarily like order or like like the OCE people that organize it. Yeah, because one thing I really didn't like about our 20s last set was like the seeding within the games and stuff like that. Like you're getting punished for doing well in the first game.
Yeah.
So or even just like stuff like that just shouldn't really be a thing. But it's kind of hard to do random as well. Like it's kind of hard to make. Like sometimes you can just get fucking. It's not even Mort Dog. I don't know. We'll just call it like Tycoon or something. You can just get Tycoon. So yeah. But it looks good. I mean, I'm hopeful. I feel like it's just one of those things you can't really tell how it's going to be like until you play it out at least once. But it looks. I mean, it looks good. I had like a lot of. I gave a lot of feedback to Tycoon, on his like plan. So yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like they've addressed a good number of issues as well. Like having actual, like a whole web page full of like, guys, this is all the open qualifiers and all the tourneys that you can get into. Or if you're like a really good ladder player, like here's the 4 different ways you can get into these big tourneys. Like that's great. That's such a big improvement on like what we had previously, that it almost like it's like totally different, basically. Like it's totally different, and that's awesome.
They've done a really good job with transparency this time around. Like it's just one neat graphic. You can just look at everything. Like the dates are all there in one place.
It's nice.
Yeah, very, very handy. I would just say I'm really excited for it. I think and one coming up so soon for an open qualifier is really nice as well. Like the set's sort of nobody's figured out the set. There's still like things up and down, things changing. It's going to be really cool to see an event where like anybody can do well. That's nice. And then there's also the beautiful fact of the matter is the good players are going to be at the good of it, like the events where the good players need to be at, and that's awesome too. That's like a really good thing. And I'm glad that we have an opportunity to like showcase all of the good players like
It's important to have both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have
Mhm.
a mix of both, where like, you know, maybe people don't like a lot of people that play this game and that are really good at this game have the time to grind it, and that's why the open qualifiers are so nice. Like for the people that are good but maybe don't have that significant that time
Yeah,
sink in
the
it
grind ladder.
as well. Yeah, so there needs to be a balance, and I'm very glad that they've done it well. Let's. I think that's
Are you guys all
pretty.
gonna play in the open quali?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Yeah, why not? We gotta at least pretend that we're like good players for the podcast. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. Give it a good go. Like I've only ever done one tourney, so.
I mean, they're
But
always
the
fun.
beauty,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beauty of the open, qualifiers are that like anyone on the day can win, right? Not necessarily the best player always wins, and I think that's part of the beauty of it.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a question sort of that relates to tournament preparation, and that is in regards to duo mode, which is also coming out tomorrow. Are you guys gonna get into duo mode big time? Like you guys are, Razza, you said you're gonna be pushing for next snapshots. You know, you're gonna be participating, grinding, playing a whole bunch of different comps. What's your sort of feelings on duo mode? Are you going to use it? Are you going to play much of it? Are you going to ignore it? That kind of thing?
I might give it a try. I'm not sure because I didn't play it on PvE, but from what I've watched from like streamers who played it, it looks really fun. So I definitely will give it a try. And if I enjoy it, I'll probably play it a bit more. I think we do have to grind duo mode as well because of that first invitation only duos tourney. I think like
Yeah.
the international one. Yeah, so definitely will play it for sure.
Yeah, Angora, what are your thoughts on duo mode?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Like honestly, I think it's just like when it comes out, if it's fun, like maybe I'll play it.
Do you
Yeah,
think... Sorry, go on.
I feel like there's been like it's just like we'll see. I just don't want it to be like Hyperroll where it's just like no one plays it because it's just not even the game, and it's not even like fun or competitive in any way really.
My
or I
Hyperroll
don't
is just
find it that
bad
way.
though.
Yeah.
Hyper
But,
rolls,
like,
yeah, but
I mean, it's always fun playing with friends, so duos it at least sounds fun to like play. But like
Yep.
grinding the duo ladder, I don't know how fun that'll be. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I also don't know how it works. Like, do you just have to like fucking wrap your dick around your duo and that's it? Or
So basically, you have like shared health pool essentially. You both have your own boards, but when you lose, you lose life as a duo.
Yeah.
There's a few mechanics unique to it where basically like I think you get like an item or whatever that lets you basically send over
oh
like
yeah,
a
I saw that.
champion.
It works like
with
item
that.
remover, but it like goes over to the other
Yep.
person.
And if you beat your opponent and you have units left over and your duo partner is still fighting, your surviving units get sent over to their board, which is the other really big mechanic. But yeah. Other than that, it's pretty sure it's like regular TFT.
That part sounds like an RNG fest. Like you're just going to another board to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fight. I think it's 3 seconds. Like it's a delay 3 seconds afterwards. They appear. There's like a big wind up for it, and then they appear. I don't know if it's like in a random place or they appear where they were on your current board.
Yeah, I think they appear like where they finished the round.
That's wild. It's wild as fuck.
But
it does have the I guess the thing is it has the same hyper roll ladder basically. So you don't have like a tiered system. You have the blue, green, orange hyper.
Do you have to do it with the same person, or can you just like do it with multiple people?
No, you can do it with multiple people, and
like
you can.
Do you gain separate ranks between them, or
no? It's just one rank as far
One
as I
rank.
know, and you can solo queue as well, and it will match you with a random duo partner.
Yeah. Because what I'm confused about is like for the 20 that they're picking like the top duo. Is it just gonna be rank 1 and 2, even though they might not even be together?
That's weird. I don't actually really.
It
know
should
how
really
to
be the
answer
the two highest combined duo, or like the people that have duoed the most, like they're combined.
Yeah, but like I feel like there's no way you can really like check that as well. Like they can, but like it doesn't really.
It makes no sense, really, does it? Like it's a bit weird. Like
for sure.
It could just be like highest ranked player and they get to pick their duo. And if they pick like second highest ranked, then they just move on to the next guy. Like there's like 3 if there's like 3 invited, for example.
Yeah. I mean, it looks fun though.
Yeah, it does look fun. The other thing is they're getting rid of it pretty quickly. Like it's not staying for very long, so they're
Yeah.
like they're bringing it in, they're getting rid of it, they're taking a bunch of advice on how it works, and then it's coming back in set 6.5. So we won't have it for 4 months. We won't have it until March basically. It'll just be around for a bit of time and then go away.
Yeah, like my plan for tomorrow isn't to play duos,
Yeah.
but maybe I honestly forgot about it, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, there's no like wake up tomorrow, message somebody, be like, let's go, let's get on the duo ladder.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's on the same sleep schedule as me because I'm from New Zealand. This is like pretty like a decent time
Oh,
zone
yeah.
diff. So
There is, yep, for sure.
Yeah, all right. I think
Yeah.
that's a good answer. I think that's wrapped it up quite well.
Mhm.
We're gonna head over to our viewer questions segment now with Sol, and we're gonna get a couple of those in, I think.
All right, awesome. All right, so we'll start off with the first question. It's for you, Razza. So what were some of your personal highlights from your experience at Worlds? What was it like?
I mean, the whole thing was just so surreal. Even though it was online and not in person, it was just like insane playing with, some like super big names, some of the best players from around the world. The best that each region had to offer. Um, and I think just like personal highlights and stuff like, I didn't like really expect to like go that far. So like each day making it to the next day was just like so insane. It's like, oh shit, I made it. And there were like
Was there
games
a
here and there that were insane as well.
Hmm?
I don't know if you guys are watching, but there was this like one game where it was on like day 2. I think it was like the last game of day 2. No, it was the second last game. It was the second last game of day 2, and I think I'd already gone like 6-6-3. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking doomed. I need an average of like 3 here to like make it, like two or 3 to make it here. I'm like, okay, I guess my world's run like just over, right? So I'm in the game, and like, it's like 3-2, and I'm like 40 HP at 3-2 or something. I'm like, oh, I'm so fucked. So I roll 3-2, I hit a Chosen Shivana, and I keep losing rounds with like Chosen Shivana in like a Dragon Soul shell. And I think I'm literally like 4 or 5 HP. Like I'm in 8th place, 4 or 5 HP. The next guy's on like 30 HP. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess like this is it. Like it's just over. Like my run just ends here. I'm just going 8th. And then I fucking like roll down a 4-1. I hit Shivana 3 at 7. I like 13 streak, win the lobby. And then I think like I go 4th next lobby as well to like make it. Like, it was like 4th or 3rd next lobby as well to like make it to day 3. It was like so insane. I don't know if you guys remember that one game.
No,
That one
I
game
actually do.
so
That's
fucking
actually pretty
insane.
insane. Yeah, I remember because that was like Set 4 Worlds was literally the first I heard of you, Raza, especially
Yeah.
when you released that Keeper's Guide
Yeah,
on
the
Reddit.
keepers.
Yeah, the Keeper Guide,
I
right? The
miss
Keeper's Guide
keepers.
Manifesto. Yeah. So that's how I heard of you first. So like I knew you were our like Worlds rep, and I was like I wasn't watching it too closely, but I was watching it like, here and there. And I remember seeing that like you were like basically just like out of it, and I was like, oh okay. I
Yeah,
guess
it's
I
over
see
here.
Stash.
Yeah.
All right, don't worry about it. And I just checked back every like hour, and I'm like, wait, he's still alive. And yeah, you actually got through, and I was just like, holy fuck, that's so insane. Yeah, that's hella
That was the
crazy.
one biggest highlight. That one game.
Damn,
Yeah.
damn. I was gonna ask, like, was there so as like when you like did, like your Tony prep and stuff, there wasn't like really any like sort of scrims with was there any sort of scrims with other
Yeah, there was
like
heaps of
the
scrims.
players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So,
other worlds
Mhm.
players, like we scrimmed so much. We scrimmed like
Mm.
6 to 8 hours a day, I think.
Yeah. So like
And then
that
I
was
would, I
gonna
would
lead into you
mm,
sorry. I didn't
and then
mean
I
to
would
interrupt you.
finish and then like review those
Mhm.
VODs with like Angora and stuff.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, because I was gonna follow up with the question, like, so in that case, like, you went into those lobbies with an idea of sort of what the lobby tempo would be like, how the other players sort of like to play, right? Because I
Yeah.
imagine it would be really, really tough if you just sort of went into it like everyone is sort of if everyone sort of just went to a blind and basically didn't
Yeah.
really have any idea like what
Yeah.
everyone's strategy was gonna be. So yeah, that's hella insane. That's awesome. All right. So the next question is for Angora. So you climbed very quickly during the new set. Were you playing one comp, or did you flex between multiple? Are you somebody that likes to play multiple different comps, or do you like prefer to just hone in on a few sort of comfort picks?
Um, Yeah, I'm definitely not the person to one trick. If I'm one tricking, there's probably something wrong with the game. If I'm being honest, I'll be like extremely tilted to be one tricking something. Obviously, everyone has their like personal favorite comps that they would like go into or whatever. But at the beginning of the set, I was just like permanently just fast 9 because everyone was so bad at early game. And they're just capping my board out. So I think I won like 50% of my games getting to masters or something, and then because nobody knew how to play, so I pretty much just abused the dumbasses. But yeah, I think just more just like I think the thing that I had like on wrap at the beginning was like the augment synergies with units. So for example, if you get like Thrill of the Hunt early, like Trundle just becomes a fucking 10v9. Like this unit
Yep.
with Thrill of the Hunt, you could like I just fast 9 like multiple games just with like Thrill of the Hunt opener when everyone else just has like whatever. You just like chuck a Runans on him and he just kills the whole thing 1-star. So probably just like small little things. Probably it probably just had to do with I played like quite a decent amount of PvE. And I also didn't have like I had exams at the time, so I didn't like play too much. So pretty much every game was like I'm here to play, you know. So whereas now I'm kind of just like playing to play and try get fucking LP, and it's not going well. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I'd love to add quickly something onto that. How important do you feel
Absolutely.
like playing on the PBE is for this kind of like improvement before a set comes out?
Not important at all.
Not important. Okay.
This is my first time ever playing on PBE.
All right.
I like I'm sure I probably I was probably better than I would have if I didn't play any PBE. But I like even when I was playing PBE, I started playing PBE like later than most people. But I feel like I feel like I just get a feel of units like faster than most people. So generally I do like okay at the beginning of the sets if I like get the games in. And then I normally like hit the hump after like a few like in this sort of area I normally get like a little bit like stuck where I'm like trying too many things out. And then hopefully it'll click soon for Age.
In the next 11 days.
Yeah, I'm just like that. Like surely, like maybe tomorrow, please. But yeah, like generally, I don't normally play PB at all because I don't think it like I don't find it that fun. But I mean I had a lot of fun this set, but it's because I had a tournament. Like I played in that whatever the PB tournament was.
PB, yeah, the PB Clash,
Yeah.
whatever it was called, right? Yep.
So I like at least had something to like play a few games of to like practice for it, and then I mean once you start playing a set, you kind of get like addicted. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun as well. But I feel like previous sets like it didn't matter. Like going from set 5 to 5.5 didn't touch it. I think I
I think like the 0.5s for sure, like PB doesn't matter as much. I think PB for like a new set can be very, very valuable, especially for getting a feel for how the set mechanic is gonna work. But but like that being said, though, a lot of like when it comes to units, right? A lot of them just have a very core fundamental value. A lot of like fundamentals, like at a core fundamental levels, right? A lot of units just have set roles, and they don't they don't really fluctuate heavily between like sets. Like this unit is an ADC, this unit is a stunner, this unit is a shielder, a healer. Like
yeah, I think one of the things that like the majority of OC players do is like they don't actually understand like the roles of units and comps. So they'll just play like they'll play a comp and you're like, wow, this comp looks so strong, but in reality it's like really weak because they just don't have like they're just like missing something that makes it 10 times stronger. For example, like the Trundle with Thrill of the Hunt. Like it's like a ridiculously like really good synergy that it makes carrying Trundle way better than carrying like the Israel when you would normally just put the items on Israel or whatever it was. But there's like a bunch of like small things like that. That's just like the only one I can like think of right away. But yeah, like because I didn't play going from set 4 to set 5 either, and I hit masters in like the same amount of games both times. So I feel like it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Overall.
Interesting.
So just play it if you find it fun. Is my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, great question. All right, moving forward. This one's sort of just for I guess everyone's more of a generalized question. Is the OC TFT community in particular truly nicer than other communities? Either in TFT or in just other games in general.
Razza, we'll start with
Literally,
you, I guess.
anyone
So
can start.
go on.
Anyone can start. Yep.
I mean, I'm not like I haven't really talked to that many people in other communities, but from the amount that I've interacted with like the MA community, I think they're like equally as nice and as wholesome. But yeah, I'm not really like into any other games, so I can't say for like other games. But yeah, pretty much the same. I feel. Just TFT as a whole is a pretty like wholesome game.
Yeah,
Thoughts, Angora?
yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think like everyone in like the high elo scene, I guess, like we all love the game and just love talking about the game. So it's pretty much like enjoyable with the you can talk about the game to anyone, and you can talk about it for ages. It doesn't really matter
Yeah.
like whether like, but I do think like in general the OC community is like very like nice and supportive. Like I just started like streaming, and like everyone's super nice, super supportive. And I mean it feels good, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice. It's really nice. Like, I mean, I've been a part of like a lot of different sort of gaming communities. Like, I've played other games at reasonable levels, that kind of thing. And I think the one thing that differentiates when it comes to TFT is there's like not a lot of there's not a lot of ego there for players. Like, I mean, and I'll use the current example. Like, Razza is like one of very few world championship representatives from our entire region.
this guy needs a bigger ego, like please.
And I just messaged him. I just
Seriously.
like messaged him out of the blue to come on this, and he's like, "Yeah, man, that sounds good." So like that's really nice. Like a lot of the time, if there's someone who's like a top player in other communities or something like that, and it's probably because TFT is in its essence still like sort of up and coming and grassroots. Like we don't have to go through managers and bookings and that kind of thing to get in contact with people, because it's like you're just talking to people like person to person, and you're just kind of sharing a love for this kind of up and coming really fun game. So it's really nice. I think everybody's really friendly, and there's barely, I haven't met a single person with like an ego, like, no, don't talk to me, no, don't, like, I don't want to hear from you, like, ignore you, that kind of thing. So I love it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I think
Very
that like
wholesome.
I
Yeah.
think that like the thing that is really that like a lot of the better sort of players have in common is in TFT. Not even it's not just limited to OCE, but like I'm sure it's the same in other regions. It's just a lot of players like very sort of humble, like about like their skill. They're like even if like they're like 1k, like 1.5k LP, they would just be like, they would just completely disregard someone lower ranked than them's like opinion. Like they always like hear them out, and they'll never like, they'll always be open to the idea that they're wrong with a certain thing. Like it's never like, oh, my word is law. Like this is 100% correct because I am rank 1, I am rank 2. Whereas I think in a lot of other games, it is sort of like that. There are these in a lot of games there are these sort of voices of authority at the top of the ladder who are just like, oh yeah, I have X and X results to prove this. Therefore, everything I say is correct and everything I say is law. So I think that's a really cool thing about.
That's the reasoning. That's the reason why like these players are at like rank 1, rank 2, 1k
Mm.
LP plus, right? It's like TFT is just such a game with so many decision trees that like they understand that they can be wrong, and they're willing to like draw input and knowledge from like players that might be ranked lower than them, which helps them in turn like improve, right? And that's why they can be like rank 1, rank 2, so high rank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of it is almost sort of community like driven in terms of getting better, like working together with other people in similar ranks than you, helping sort of everyone get better, right? And learning from each other. So yeah, for sure.
A good example of that as well is Razza. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you wrote the Keeper Guide, you were like, you just hit challenge, like you were just around challenge, like you were 700 LP or something like that. Like you weren't like top 15 or anything like that when you wrote it, and it went crazy. Like that's a really good idea. Like that's a really good example of like, here's someone with a really fleshed out idea that not a lot of people are doing, and all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, everybody's playing it. Like the
Everyone's
top
playing it.
players, the top players are like, here's the decisions I'm taking to hit chosen cannon. Like, oh, this is when I'm rolling to hit like maximize my 3 cost chosen, or like, am I selling this to hit chosen Zaya, blah blah blah, like whatever it might be. So that's like probably a classic, a really sort of poignant example of like that kind of thing in TFT.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really good answer to that question. So moving on, I guess this one is probably a little bit targeted more towards Razza and Angora, as players who've participated in a lot of tournaments. How would you recommend somebody who has no tournament, like zero tournament experience, to get involved with the OCE tournament circuit?
Just start. Like that's I don't know what to say, but like just start, right? Like they're like probably a bit worried because they haven't played that many performance and like they're probably a bit nervous, but yeah, really it just comes down to starting and playing the first one and then go from there. Because like all the information and stuff is like online. It's all like easily accessible. It's publicly available. You just have to sign up.
Yeah.
Yes. Your thoughts,
Yeah,
Angora?
probably just like trying to make the not make the feeling of a tournament be so like novel. Like at the end of the day, it's just you're still just playing TFT.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like don't get too much in your head in your head about it, right? Like it's just a string of games. You just need to try to do your best, and pray to Mott Dog, and you're good to go.
There's certainly
Absolutely.
not like a bunch of hype. There's like not hyper competitive tournaments as well. There's like the every Friday OC Friday Fiesta tournaments. There's like, I mean, there's other OC tournaments that are run every week. I mean, even if you're like, let's say you're a night owl, or like you're up really early in the morning, maybe you can like participate in some of the NA or EU like weekly style tournaments. There's a lot out there. So like you don't have to like the first thing you do for a TFT tournament doesn't have to be like the open qualifier. If you like know a bunch of people, like what you're in any sort of Discord, like, or like you follow a streamer or something and they're doing viewer games, like treat that like a tournament. Treat that like I'm gonna do my best that I can in this game with 5 other people or 6 other people, or even like your solo queue games. Like it's obviously sort of a reframing tool, but like, oh man, like I'm gonna focus. I'm really focusing on this one solo queue game that I'm playing, because to me this is like the game, like the first game of a made up tournament. Like do whatever you can to kind of get yourself into the mindset of playing like you're gonna play in a harder setting, and that'll make it easier and way less stressful when you get to the real thing.
I feel like we don't have enough like tournaments though. Obviously outside of the official ones, we definitely have enough official tournaments, but we don't have like any like weekly ones that we can play every week for practice. We used to. I think Tycoon used to run them weekly, but now he runs them once a month.
Fortnightly? Oh, is it once a month now?
I think it's
I'm
once a
actually not
month
even
now.
sure. Might be
Yeah.
once a month.
Yeah, so we definitely don't have enough like tournaments weekly.
Yeah.
Well, right, they should just like do like TFT Clash like in the class.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be
we
sweet.
have Clash. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That's actually a really good transition into the next question, which is also our current last question of our prepared questions. Should there be an easier way, aside from multiple Discord channels, to sort of find and participate in events? Whether it be like sort of official or unofficial.
They fixed a lot of this problem, I will say, just quickly, with this new like format, where it's like all on one big web page. You can read through it in your own time. Because I know people like from previous sets where they were like, oh, like what Discord do I have to go to sign up? Oh, that's not the Discord that I had to go to sign up for this event. Like, oh, maybe I deleted the Discord, or like where is it? How do I find it? That kind of thing. So I will give them a lot of credit, because they've streamlined a lot of that information down into like one really easy to read web page. A lot of credit compared to where it used to be, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like not knowing anything about the competitive scene, because I didn't talk to anyone in like set 1, set 2, even set 3. Like I actually didn't talk to like a single person, so I wasn't really part of like the community. Like the only people I ever talked to were the people that like would add me and then like talk to me. But yeah, like for sure, like it is pretty hard to get like to know about the tournaments. Like even still now, like I wouldn't have heard about the OC tournament unless I was on the Discord that I'm already on.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how else they could like advertise it. So yeah, like other than like putting it in the client or something. So
Yeah, they should though. They should put it in the client.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
I think part of it is the limitation that we have to. We're currently still sharing the same client with League of Legends players.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it very tough to sort of advertise like TFT
With a mini
events.
game. So
Yeah, we're still we're still living the game, but
Yeah.
hopefully that's changing soon. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's also still wishful thinking, but as sort of Razza did bring up, it would be really nice to have like a sort of TFT clash, like even where like you just have like
Yeah.
weekly events you could play, and you could just like I don't know, you could just pay like $10 or whatever for like a premium
Enter
ticket.
with RP. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can win eggs, you can win RP, you can win stuff like that. I think that's really cool.
And the Chinese TFT like mobile app, like the Chinese TFT where you've got like the puzzles. I mean, we basically talk about this every episode, but like that should be what TFT is like. Like we should have that functionality in our game as well. Like we're currently like very constrained by Riot's client that's been shit since 2010 basically.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
we should like that stuff should be in our game. We should have that option. Like wouldn't I mean, we've talked about this with everybody, but I mean, how great is it to like see that you can go back and play older sets, like set 1 on the Chinese one, even if you like don't have the capability to do so. Like it's
I'm
just
really
cool.
mad that a lot of these like features aren't in set 6 because I think Riot said that they actually collaborated with the Chinese company to create the Chinese TFT.
Yeah.
So clearly they can do it, but we don't have it. Like especially stuff like the post match that shows like
Yeah.
so much information. Yeah.
Part of it is, I think part of it is also to do with the demand. TFT is really, really big in China, from what I've heard at least. It's really, really, really popular in China, so it does make sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really popular in this Discord call. I want it, man. Give me fucking set 1 back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Alright.
We've got one question from the chat, and that question is, how much solving do you think the set still has to be done, like when it comes to the sort of ins and outs of gameplay? I'll start with Angora on this one, I think.
a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. Like even just small like unit, like comp wise, probably not too much. Like the comps will probably still look pretty similar at the end of the set. Obviously, it'll be like a little bit different when units get buffed and nerfed. Like things will change. Like the strength of units will be different. But yeah, like a lot. Like for example, even just like how did you guys see Sox's like MF guide?
I see it. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
like
for sure.
I think that's like the best example of it's the same unit as last set, except this set the unit has like infinitely more possibilities with positioning, and even just like with how the units interact and with like socialite hex and all this stuff. Like every game you can like learn something small. Like for example, I was playing a game yesterday. It was like I think it was a couple of days ago maybe, and I'm versing Nathan, and he's playing Tarek. He has Tarek with like stacked Tarek, and he's got Woodland, so he just has like 2 Tareks, and it's just healing his whole team, and no one's killing any units. Like it was actually just like an insane like early game combo from his spot. So next game I have like that sort of spot, probably will take it because it was pretty insane. So yeah, like pretty much every game you can probably like learn at least something small that you can add to your like repertoire, I guess, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Razza, your
for
thoughts on
sure.
that question?
I mean, I agree with everything Angora said, but in addition to that, I don't think TFT can like ever be like solved, so to speak. There's just too many like possibilities and too many decisions, and things change patch by patch as well. Unless you get like I don't know an AI to play, I don't think it's like possible to like solve TFT like ever.
Yeah.
No, I bet the AI would be a bot, like Trust. Like it's like the perfectly great way to play it. But you're like watching me like this guy's an idiot.
Yeah, but they're like sitting
That's
there
how
like
cool the game.
they're like rolling for like I don't even know like Brom 3 or something every single game because it thinks that it's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
You would have to be able to feed that AI like a baseline strategy, like an actual like set out baseline strategy, which I think is already
Yeah.
really, really difficult to do.
That's just like so
That's-
impossible already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So much of the game is subjective. Like so much of the game is like dependent on so many different variables, right?
So it's like
yeah.
really, really hard for TFT to be like solved. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it depends like what your definition of solved is.
Yeah, I think if we talk about solving in terms of like figuring out like what the best comps are, then that's
That
not
stuff's like always like
yeah,
easily solved like 3 days
that's
into a patch.
yeah, that's never hard to do, but
Yeah.
that's like a third of the battle because the
Yeah.
hard part's always how do you get to that comp, and that's
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Like
that's where the
small
decision making
optimizations.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the decision making always has been,
Mm.
right? It's
That
always
stuff
been
will keep
how to get into comp. Yeah,
the stuff will
Sorry.
keep getting discovered like on and like every single patch. Like there'll be small stuff that will be there from like the first patch that won't be discovered till like I don't even know, like 7 patches in, or even like the last patch.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Razza,
Like for
you...
example, like Kha'Zix like in set 5, like no one knew how broken that unit was if you reroll
Yeah,
and
it
put
took
those,
so
like, item.
long to
Yeah,
figure out
and
that
it was in the
unit.
same state the entire set, but no one knew you could reroll and
Mhm.
put those items, and it'd be so broken.
Yeah.
Hmm.
For sure, for sure.
Razza, you were basically one-tricking, Samira, right? Basically every game for like a whole week, or you were playing like
It was
mostly...
only like one day. It was like one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you... I'd love to sort of hear your thoughts on like playing the same comp every game in a set where the augments like change all the time. Like, did you find it like way harder to basically play the same comp every single game for like a full day?
Honestly, not as hard as it was in set 4. I think actually, like I don't think not as hard is the correct word, but more like it's more optimal to force this set than it was in set 4, because you could skip like you would have to skip like premium chosens to for like other comps to like force your one comp in set 4. Like this set you could just take like generic augments and still force the same comp. So I think it's like more forceable this set.
Unless you get 3 trait augments at
Yeah.
1-4.
Then you'll dig whether you're flexible or not. Like then you're fucked either way.
Yeah.
That's
When you get three,
that's called getting what dogged.
Yeah.
when you get 3 trade orgs at 1-4, you just lean back, look up into the sky, and cry a little. Every time.
Especially when it's just like the fucking useless ones.
Yeah,
Like-
when it's like not socialite and like not
No, but
mercenary.
I mean, Socialite is so
Yeah,
useless
yeah.
as well. Like Socialite 1 is like
Yeah.
it's like the most
You
useless
you
trait
sit
early
there
game.
and you scout the boards that haven't taken it, hoping they'll take it so you know where it is.
Yeah. No, not
Yeah.
only like even if it's in a good spot, like 20% damage is nothing.
Yeah.
It's like
The 20% is not that big.
As in terms of like in terms of trait ones, it's one of the better ones, I think.
yeah, I guess because you can
It
use
is
it
one
in
of the more
anything, right?
flexible
Yeah,
ones.
you can use it straight away.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to sort of bring up something that I think I've found when it comes to like the traits and things like that. Has anybody else found like maybe they see their trait options in the shop and they don't have anything of it like available, but they do in their shop afterwards? I've been offered mercenary a couple of times with no mercenaries on the board,
Right.
on like my board or on my bench, and I
Right.
take, for example, I don't take mercenary, I take something else, but there's a Quinn in my shop, that kind of thing. Has anybody like is like, am I going crazy? I feel like that's something that's like happening at the moment.
I mean, that's just something that can happen due to chance, and you just notice it
Yeah.
more often, probably.
I guess like it must just be a chance thing, because it's so weird. Like I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. It's probably not, but I feel like I have noticed that a little bit happening to me a few times overall. Anyway, keep an eye on that one just in case it is a real thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll tweet Mort Dog, see what I can find.
Tinfoil hats on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I think we're pretty much finished
All right.
for
I think we're good.
questions and things like that. So guys, we're at the end of our podcast now. We've gone a pretty long time. I just want to first of all say a big thank you to everyone in chat for sticking around. It's been great to have you guys here. Thank you so much for interacting, for chatting, for coming in and seeing us. And secondly, of course, to our fantastic guests. You guys have both been terrific. I just want to give you guys now a quick chance to sort of plug yourself, talk about where we can find you, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. I think let's start with Razza. Razza, just thank you once again for being here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
My pleasure. So where can the listeners maybe this goes out on iTunes and Spotify and podcast apps as well, so they won't be able to see the VOD. So just tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Twitch, and my name is Razza168. Just RAZZA 168.
Brilliant. Angora, yeah, thank you for being here. For you as well, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you? You know, Twitch, Twitter, anything like that?
Yeah. Well, I started streaming like a little bit more often, so I think I like met the requirements for affiliate, but I still need like I need to like do the stuff that you have to do to actually like finish or whatever. So yeah, I'll probably be streaming a little bit more. Just that Angora TFT.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And finally, of course, my co-host Sol. Thank you very much for being here with me every week. I mean,
Pleasure
it's
as
an
always.
absolute pleasure. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, my Twitch is soul_TFT, and my Twitter handle is the exact same thing. If you want to follow my Twitter to find out when I go live, but other than that, yeah, that's me.
And I know you've got a new YouTube now, and Razza, I know that you're pretty active on the YouTube as
Oh
well.
yes.
So you guys want to quickly shout those out before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm just Razza, I think, on YouTube. I don't remember, but I think it's just Razza. If you search Razza TFT, I'm sure you'll find me.
Great. Sol, how about you?
I'm just Soul TFT, but like TFT's in caps. But my YouTube is a lot less like professional compared to Raz's.
I don't know what that one.
I mean, my one is okay. So like my one is literally just made as a place where I can like ramble if I want to. Like if I just want to ramble about specific things, I'm just gonna dump things there to ramble.
That's what I
Of me
made this
rambling
fucking
about things,
podcast
but-
for. You don't need the fucking
Yeah.
YouTube. Jesus. All right, fair enough. Fine. All right, guys, we're gonna get
But
the
yeah.
hell out of here. I just want to thank our guests one last time, and
Thank you for having me.
that's-
Thank you so much for coming on, guys. It's
Yeah.
been really great.
Thanks for having us. I love
Guys.
talking about
Awesome.
TFT.
Great. And look, you know, hopefully when it comes down to the end of set 6 and we're looking at tournaments and looking at the big championship events, we'll come back to you guys and get you on again to discuss them. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, guys.
Appreciate it.